his story. So thank you all again, and I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you. March 1, 2018, my wife and I should have been having dinner with our daughter in Delray Beach, Florida. Instead of that, we had her memorial service in Hagerstown, Maryland. Leah Renee Straley passed away from fentanyl poisoning on Valentine's Day of 2018. That has forever changed our lives. Leah struggled with addiction probably beginning at the age of 14. Started with marijuana, continued and progressed through heavier drugs. She was in and out of sober living homes, about 12 or 13 of those to be exact, both locally, West Coast, East Coast, and the Midwest. While she was in those sober living homes, she helped a lot of others. She helped her peers. She encouraged her peers. I would say today, when you have your friends, for those that are in sober living and recovery, lean on your friends. Lean on your loved ones. Leah knew that she was loved. She was loved by her family. As a matter of fact, the last time that I gave my daughter a hug was at the airport on February 10th, 2018. Like I did many times before, I put my hands on her shoulders and I looked her in the eye and I said, Leah, your biggest fans are at home. We love you and we believe in you. She said, I know, Dad. And we embraced. From there, she was on an airplane. That was the last hug and kiss that I got from my daughter. And oh, how I yearn for another hug and a kiss from our Leah Renee. When I got the news at 9:02 a.m. on Valentine's Day of 2018 that there were 2 Pennsylvania police officers at my work that wanted to talk with me, I had no idea about the news that would be forthcoming. Honestly, we went into a private room and they broke the news to me that they had received information from the police in Florida that our daughter had passed. I don't remember much after that. The only thing I do remember is I had to get to Hagerstown to inform my wife. When Leah was in a sober living home in Ephrata, PA, there was a church group that came in around Christmas time that had wrapped presents. Leah would be the type that would stand back and let all the other ladies take the nicely wrapped presents. And they did. There was one other present there on the floor. It was in a garbage bag. She took that. She took that present. Inside that, it was filled with essentials, gift cards, toothpaste, hair comb, hairbrush, so on and so forth. When our daughter passed, we wanted to do something. At that point, we didn't know what, to honor our daughter. Three days after her memorial service, my wife and I were sitting in a pew at our church, and this card came across my left shoulder. And on the card it said, "Be a voice." I didn't know what that meant, and I turned around. It was a dear friend of ours that would typically sit behind us. And she smiled and she winked at me and nodded like, "You'll know what to do with this." At that point I didn't, but I kept that card. And I put that card in our walk-in closet. And every morning I would look at that, and every evening I would look at that, and I would pray on it. Months passed. Every day I would repeat it. Finally, one day I was coming home from work, And there was a voice, I can't say it was a loud audible voice, but there was a voice in my head that said, recreate the bag. And I said to myself, recreate the bag. And then all of a sudden it hit me. The bag that Leah had received at the sober living home in Ephrata. We needed to recreate that bag for other ladies that were in sober living. And so we did. And we bought in bulk, and I rushed home and I told my wife, I said, we need to recreate the bag, only the bag's not going to be a garbage bag. It'll be a reusable purple drawstring bag, and it's going to be filled with essentials. Because those of us that have never experienced an addiction or have been in recovery, we have no idea, and I can only speak for myself, I have no idea what you go through. But I do know this, that lots of times when people go into recovery and into sober living, what they have is the only thing they have is on their backs. And so we wanted to provide essentials. This is the Leah Legacy purple bag. My wife and I go into sober living homes for women. We go to agencies and organizations that are treating women in recovery, and we share Leah's journey. We also share our journey as grieving parents. Every day there's grief. There are good days, but those good days have triggers. And I think you all know what I mean by triggers. And so I stand before you today by saying that to date, we have gifted 451 Leah Legacy purple bags to ladies that are in recovery. And to me, that's a blessing. Thank you. We always buy in bulk. All the bags have to be the same. So we were running out of room in our house. As you can imagine, 40 some items in this bag with buying in bulk. And in the winter months, we supplement the bag with a nice blanket, a nice bath towel, hats and scarves. We were running out of room. We were shoehorning everything in our house. And so I said we needed a building. And we were blessed that during COVID, we were able to build the Leah Legacy Operations Center to house all of our operations of our Daughters Memorial Foundation. leahslegacy.net is the website. That was the first chapter, really. Well, actually, it was the second chapter. The first chapter was actually creating the foundation. The second chapter was building the operations center. And then last year we took ownership of my aunt and uncle's property. My aunt unexpectedly passed away, and they lived next door. And we created Leah's Gathering Place. Let me tell you a little bit about Leah's Gathering Place. We have a house guest there that's got 5 years sobriety. My wife opened up a little mini bake shop, Leah's Cookie Bite Bake Shop. And we are now offering life skill classes for women in recovery. And we're actually going to do those first life skill classes next month. If you stop by our tent at Leah's Legacy, we have flyers out. So the first go around with our life skill classes is basic finances, checking account, savings account, how to acquire a debit card, the basics. Again, I may take that for granted. A lot of folks don't understand or have the basics, and we're here to help. Future classes will be cooking and baking, basic house cleaning, so on and so forth. We can accommodate up to about 12 ladies in the gathering place. And if we have to repeat the classes, we have every intentions of doing that as well. but it's been a real blessing. See, we've turned calamity into comfort. We've turned misery into our mission. Our pain has brought us a passion, and that passion is Leah's Legacy Foundation. We both have full-time jobs, but this is our passion. A lot of other things have been secondary with the passing of our daughter. We live our life with a purpose, and that purpose is to help other women in recovery, just like our Leah. So with that, I say thank you. I will say this, if you visit our tent, this is a copy of my book that I wrote. It details Leah's journey. It details our grief as parents, the struggles that we went through. Honestly, as parents, we were ignorant to the fact of addiction. We really didn't learn a whole lot about addiction until after her passing. And a little bit about our future. So I would encourage you to stop by our tent just to say hello. We have some things over there for sale. All the proceeds go towards Leah's Legacy Foundation. My wife just baked freshly baked cookies about 2 hours ago from her bakery. Again, recovery is a personal journey. Recovery is a battle. So is grief. So I would just issue these two words. Hold on.